Many video viewers don't get past the first 90 seconds of a video, so here's the long and the short of it. For chairman, I recommend voting for Supervisor Brian Fisher instead of for Michael Doerr. For Supervisor 2, I recommend voting for David German instead of for Larry Wolf. And for Supervisor 4, I recommend voting for Bob Stigler instead of for Ryan Licht. If you remember to vote for these three candidates, we will be well on our way to a greatly improved town board. Municipal elections are nonpartisan. That seems lost on many of the voters. Nonpartisan means no party affiliations are at play. Further, a town board is not about the NRA, gun rights, abortion, terrorism, immigration, North Korea, or any of the other things left to state and national leaders. The town board is responsible for our local taxes and what that money gets spent on: roads, fire and EMT service, public safety, maintaining property values, protecting our borders and tax base, reasonable growth, and most of all, fairness, kindness, and understanding for all residents that come before it, not just the chosen ones. It seems that typically these local elections are a popularity contest, or who is in one camp or another. I have different criteria I use to make my voting choices. The first is integrity. I'll take time later to mention that. Another criterion is the experience of the candidates. It may not be a deal breaker, but it's very important. I am looking for candidates that go to meetings regularly and know what is going on in the town from years of experience. That is hard to come by. In the recent past, we lost from the Plan Commission Fire Chief Dan Buchholz and Al White. Together they held decades of experience that is irreplaceable. I also look to elect a board that can work together. For several years now, the bickering that had been one of Merrick's election themes has not stopped. In fact, it has worsened. The candidates I support can and will work together in unison for the betterment of the town. Michael Doerr has some experience, but it doesn't come close to the decades that Brian Fisher offers. Not even close. For starters, Doerr claims 2 years' experience on the Plan Commission. Fisher has over 30 years, 15 times the experience Doerr claims. Fisher's been a supervisor 50% more time than Doerr. Their experience level isn't even close. I was very, very disappointed when I got Supervisor Doerr's mailing. I say supervisor even though his return address and letterhead say, quote, Waukesha Town Chairman, end quote. That action alone is enough for me to know what I need to know about his integrity. Or in Saturday's Freeman, when he declared because of his credentials it, quote, makes him the leading candidate for the town chairman position, close quote. Gee, I haven't seen any polls to that effect. He simply made it up and declared it to be so. In my humble opinion, pompous, arrogant, and lacking integrity. Doerr's mailing could apply to any candidate. Visionary, instrumental, transparent, tax cutting, efficient. Yeah, we get it, but where is he on the issues facing the town? Fisher is the obvious choice. Yes, Fisher's mailing was long and detailed, but that's because he wanted to share with you some of the things that were going on in the town that are kept quiet. And if you don't regularly go to meetings or watch online, you have no idea what's happening. Fisher's mailing is from his heart and actually shares information with the voter. It tells you where he stands on specific issues, not just platitudes. One of my pet peeves is what the town board has done to stifle citizen comments. Step by step, they have cut residents out of the experience of expressing themselves. Fisher would return that opportunity. In one video, during a public hearing, when by rule the board is supposed to listen, not respond, Doer is shown in the following video what he had to say to a citizen when he didn't like what the citizen was saying. In the video that follows, from a different date, Fisher makes the case for restoring more expansive citizen comments.
But I gotta tell you, this reeks of corruption. This gentleman said it, just hear me out, I'm talking now. Okay? That's what you guys don't do. You guys don't listen.
Sir, you're not going to make accusations of corruption.
This is not the place for it. There's too much risk and there isn't enough benefit. Thank you.
I think it should be on there as a matter of principle, because I think our citizens have valuable input to offer. I think not only should that be restored to the agenda, but simply an oversight that it was taken off. That's step one, but I would support further the language be added to it to after it says limited to 3 minutes. I would suggest that language be added which would say reasonably extended at the discretion of the chair of the meeting. If somebody's in mid-sentence or they have a valid point, I think it'd be kind and appropriate here at the town board or town plan commission as well to let them finish. And I would have a far preference for not restricting it to items on the agenda. If we have citizens that come to the plan commission meeting and they have a issue about zoning or planning type of thing, even if they want to offer input on what the town should or shouldn't consider to be a permanent or temporary structure, whatever, I think they should be given the opportunity to speak. The chair certainly has the discretion to tell somebody that's not of interest or applicable to anything we do here at the town of Waukesha. I don't think we're going to let people come here and sell Girl Scout cookies for their Girl Scout troop, and I don't mean that unkindly in any way, but I mean it has to be something that's topically pertinent to the town of Waukesha. So my request would be, unless somebody objects, that we put citizens' comments back on the plan commission agendas, and that we allow people to speak on any item of interest pertinent to the town, and that we do limit people to 3 minutes, but we allow that time to be reasonably extended at the discretion of the chair of the meeting. Well, respectfully, I disagree with you saying we can't do anything about it. We can, and the thing we can do is listen. And I think that's critically important, and that's missing sometimes not only in the town of Waukesha here, it's missing in the larger dialogue in state and national government. Heaven forbid that's what we can do. And listen, I'm all for blast it out all over the place what people's email addresses are. Phone numbers are fine with me. Some people are not comfortable in public, and that's okay. I mean, these meetings are videotaped, and I think appropriately so, that people can look at them either live or they can look at them at the library. We maintain those. Some people are more comfortable in writing rather than talking to somebody over the phone. I think any vehicle that they want to express their points of view on is something we ought to take. So to say that there's no value, they come to the meeting, I disagree with that, because the value is in us listening. It doesn't mean we have to agree with people. I mean, you can absolutely disagree, but I think that's the value of it, and I think we should extend that opportunity to citizens and make them welcome to offer their comments.
Among other issues, this one alone makes voting for Fisher an obvious choice for me. Then we have the two positions for supervisors 2 and 4. Larry Wolf is a nice enough fellow, but I have found that he offers little to the discussion or decision making other than to just vote with whatever the group is going to do. David German is an energetic young man who, along with his family, has strong roots in the community, and he is ready to be a true participant in the governing of the town, not simply a go-along to get along member of the board. Lastly, we come to Bob Stigler and Ryan Licht. I don't know where to start. Stigler and his family have been active members of the community for decades. Bob has been on the Plan Commission now for several years, while Licht has never held any position with the town that I know of, and to the best of my knowledge, he does not even attend meetings regularly. If you were to contact him, and I will be, that would be the first thing I would ask him. When was the last meeting you attended? And how many have you attended in the past year or two? Knowing perhaps that he watches online, like many do. But Licht's flyer, like Doer's letter, says basically nothing to me, except perhaps that he isn't aware how town government works. First, knowing he is a life member of the NRA is perhaps nice, but has nothing to do with town government. I'm not sure why he included that. He is for lower taxes and no town debt. Well, taxes are already very low. Ask any board member or citizen, and they will agree. As for no town debt, maybe Mr. Licht isn't aware that the town already has no town debt and in fact is sitting on a substantial savings. And again, we hear the platitudes like conservative agenda, whatever that is, and goes on to include the terms conservative, common sense, protects taxpayers. Which supervisor or candidate is he suggesting isn't already doing that? He has, quote, fighting for lower taxes and no town debt on both sides of his nice, colorful flyer. But is that all he has to say? Personally, in my humble opinion, I don't think he is a serious candidate, and certainly not prepared. Fisher's mailing piece may have been long, but at least it was informative on the issues. For Supervisor 4, you were given a choice between Plan Commissioner Bob Stigler or Ryan Licht. I'm not sure there is really a choice there. It's a no-brainer. Licht might be a very nice gentleman. Most likely he is. But I go to a lot of meetings, and I've never met him, and only saw him at one annual meeting about 4 years ago. But he hardly seems qualified to be a town supervisor. So by the time you read this, early voting will already be open. Whether you agree with me in general or on any specific issue, please be sure to vote. And get a friend to vote too. Election day is April 2nd, 2019, and I believe the annual meeting is the third Tuesday in April. That would be April 16th. I hope to see many of you there. Respectfully submitted, Sandy Hamm.